Thank you all for joining the today's session. Today we started the first series Python live coding. First we'll go with the very basics kind of practical sessions, and when we actually do some like 5 to 6 sessions, right, then we'll move on to the very difficult sessions, like difficult questions we will take. We'll work on the something hacker rank related questions. So slowly we'll move on to the difficult part. First, let's get started with the very simple and programming, because some people already having the idea on the Python, some people already having the background on the Python programming language or any other programming language. But this session will give little idea. Okay, not like a very simple problems, but little we can go little some extra like how we can do it. Okay, so completely practical. I'm going to use the tool called VS Code, and one or two sessions I will use VS Code. Some other sessions I will use the PyCharm. Different tools are there. We can use it. Okay, so let me get into the slide away. First problem, the problem number one, right? Write a program which will find all numbers which are divisible by 7 but are not a multiple of 5 between 1000 and 2100, both included. The numbers obtained should be printed in a comma separated sequence on the single line. Okay, so what is the problem they are giving here? We need to write a program. Okay, so it's actually going to find all the numbers between the 1000 and 2100, but those numbers should be divisible by the 7 but not multiple of 5. Okay, this is the problem statement they are giving, but whatever the output you are going to show it on the screen, that must be separated by the comma. For example, 1007 comma 1001 comma 1007 comma 1014 comma something, right? Whichever the number is divisible by 7 in between the 1000 and 2100. Okay, let's see that how we are going to solve this problem. I'm straight away going to the VS Code, and we are into the problem number one, right? So we are going to frequently going to observe this. Okay, how actually this is going to work. Then we'll see that one by one. The first thing is write a program which will find all the numbers. Okay, so they are saying that, so first 1000 to the 2100, right? So this is the numbers they want. So in between they want numbers which divisible by the 7, and second one is multiple of 5. Okay, this is where we start with this, but basically we need the numbers, like sequence of numbers. How we can do this is a question, right? So how this can be achieved? So we are going to use the two ways we can do programming. Not only two ways, we can do 5 6 ways. This solution we can provide it. Okay, I'll go with the very easy way. Okay, we can go for the for loop. So I will use the for loop here. So for, and you take anything like for number in, and you can take the range. Range is a function which is available in the Python. So I want values because they are saying that 1000 to 2100, right? So I will give this ranges to 1000 and 2100. Okay, so basically if you give 100, it will not include it, so you need to avoid this one. You can give 2101, but anyway, let's go for the 100 first of all. Later we can change this value based on the output. Okay, so for number in range of 1000 and 2100, so what I'm going to do, right? So whatever the number which we get here, so every time one number will come this for loop, this number should be, okay, we are going to use this number should be what is there saying that divisible by, right? So divisible by 7, we are going to use the percentile. So if number is divisible by 7, and that must be equal to 0. Okay, that means if the number is divisible by 7 but are not multiple of 5, so how we can do it, but not multiple of 5, then I'm going to use AND operation here, because I want number should be divisible by 7 and not multiple by 5. So what I'm going to do, that is also nothing but divisible by 5, right? So I'm going to use I percentile 5 and not equal to 0. Okay, and if this condition is satisfied, then I will move on to the print statement. Print each number here. Okay, which is very simple, right? When I'm going to print this number will be printed. Then what I will see, let's execute this piece of code. It is very simple code I am executing now. So when you are executing this code, okay, so Yeah, we are using that number, right? So let me use this number. Generally we use the I, right, inside the for loop. So that is a little mistake. Okay, I got numbers here, but the problem is, see, I got all the numbers which are divisible by, yes, which are divisible by. So we are giving the 100, but let's give the 1000 now. Okay, that is a problem statement. Let me go with this. I will show you the output now between the 1000 to 2001. And yeah, you can stop here. See, 1001 and 1008, 1022, 1029, like that. All the numbers we got which are divisible by 7 are not divisible by 5. Of course, you see any number which is not divisible by 5. Generally, which number is divisible by 5? Which number ends with the 5 or 0? That number we say that it is going to divisible by the 5. Here, any number is not divisible by 5. So that we got the output. But still, what is the problem? They are saying that the numbers obtained should be printed in the comma separated sequence on the single line. Okay, so here this point is a little tricky, right? They want all these numbers into the single line, not like line by line. Okay, so that is a little tricky. So in the print statement we have something called, so how many of you will I know this one? I don't know, but we can use this. End is equal to, then we can give separated by the comma. Okay, which we are going to achieve it, right? And I'm going to do this. Okay, so let me clear entire text here, execute the code again. I got output. This is the reason I don't want to go for the Zoom, right? That's why I opted for the YouTube. Okay, fine. So you can see here all the numbers we have it, right? But I got all the numbers in the sequence order separated by the comma is because of end. So what I did, right? I used the for loop for number in the range of 1000 and 2100, and my number is going to find it out. So number is divisible by 7 equal to 0, and the number which is divisible by 5 which is not equal to 0, those numbers I want based on the statement, right? So I got the output is till 2093. Okay, till now, till 2093. We are not sure that 2100 is also part of it, but anyway, this is ends with a 0. Obviously, the 5 which is not included, this number is not going to be included in the output. Okay, so what is the statement again? I'm going to read it here. Write a program which will find all the numbers which are divisible by the 7 but not multiple of 5 between the 1000 and 2100. But in the output, if it is this equation is satisfied, both the numbers should be presented. But anyway, this equation is not satisfied both, and the numbers obtained should be printed in the comma separated sequence of on a single line. Okay, this is one of the interview question, guys. So how to print these values? We can print this way for number in range of 1000 and 2100. So range is actually main function. Immediately we need to think. Someone is asking you to like 10,000 to 20,000 or 1000 to 2000, especially in the numbers. Immediately we can think about a range function, and then we can solve the issue. So whenever you look at this problem, so you need to underline the point here. Write a program which will find all the numbers which are divisible by 7 and all, right? Especially the between. So between is the keyword, 1000 and 2100. So we can start using the range function. Okay. Not only this statement, tomorrow they were asking the find the factorial number between the 10 and 15. Okay. Then you can go for the range function. So what is the learning from this question? So we are going to use the range function to find the values, okay, between one number to the another number. That is a start number and end number. This is the problem number 1, right? Let's go to the problem number 2. So it is very famous problem number 2. Write a program which can compute the factorial of the given numbers. The results should be printed in the comma separated sequence on single line. Okay, so we need to print these the factorial numbers like should be printed in the comma separated sequence. How we can do this one? So suppose the following input is supplied to the programming is 8. So when they are giving the 8, output should be like this. Okay, how to achieve this one? So we are going to use now different programming step. So we'll see that how is going to be work. So this can be done in the multiple ways. Okay, one is with the functions, one is without functions, one is the lambda functions, one is while loop, one is with the for loop also we can do. I'm going to show you this one with the for loop and also while loop and also lambda function. We'll see how we are going to achieve it. So lambda function is very shortcut function. It is anonymous function in the Python. Okay, so we can easily do that option. Okay, let me go to this problem 2.py. Okay. So basically I want to do here factorial numbers to find the factorial numbers, right? So that is what I'm going to do here. So let me clear all this output. So again, I'm going to read the problem statement, write a program which can compute the factorial of the given numbers, any number, right? The results should be printed in a comma separated sequence. Okay. Okay. Any number, right? Any number means what? The user is going to enter the number, right? So n is going to entered by the user. I will say that using the input function. Okay, let me use the input function here. So in this input function, whenever the user enters some data to this input function, that should be converted into the integer value, right? You can take here integer, that will be converted into the integer, right? Because input basically will take always string. If you want something should be converted into the integer or float or complex number, we need to use the function called int that will be converted into the integer. That value will be the number here. Okay, this number I will take. Okay, I'm going to use the while loop here. This number I'm going to take. I'm going to iterate this by using the while I of so less than or equal to n. Okay, whatever the n user enter, whether it is 8 or 5 or 6, whatever it is, I'm going to use I less than or equal to n. So what is the I? So basically I starts from the equal to 1, okay, or 0. Basically here something you should know. What is a factorial number? The factorial number is always starts from the 1 to n, right? So 1 to n is the factorial number. We always starts with the 1. That is the reason I is equal to 1 is taken up, right? So any factorial number starts with the 1 only. Okay, I is equal to 1. The 1 less than or equal to, if I enter 5, less than or equal to 5. So that's how it calculates. So now what if it is a factorial value is, okay, if I is equal to 0 means what? So what is the factorial of the 0? Any idea, guys? Factorial of the 0 is always 1. Okay, remember this, factorial of the 0 is always 1. So based on the conditions we are going to check now. What we can check now, so we can, anyway we are using your while loop, so I'm going to use the new one called factorial. So let me create one factorial variable that's called factorial is equal to 1. So I'm going to assign here the factorial fact, and is here in the Python we don't have like increment operators like plus plus minus minus. That option is not there like in Java and C++ and C language we have it, but in the Python there is no increment and decrement operators. We need to use like this. Okay, the variable name is equal to the variable into star. Okay, star into I, because I is going to be iterated every time, right? Then what I will do, right, I will increment this value I by using the I is equal to I plus 1. So this can be incremented. So what I'm doing here in the line number 8, so whenever the value comes here, so I first it comes with the 1. Okay, so 1 into factorial, 1 into 1 is 1. Okay, again this will be incremented. Which one incremented? I will be incremented. So then 1 into 2, then 1 into 3, then value will be added with the sequences like this, right? So now I is equal to I plus 1, which I got the output. So which I'm actually referring here. So now I'm going to print this value here in the print statement. What if I do it without so we outside of the while loop or inside of the while loop is the question. Okay, let me use this one inside of the while loop and let's execute this. Is there any issues are there? Okay, the first it will ask you to enter the value, because we are not using the print statement generally int of input 1. So I'm using now 5. I'm entering here in the console. When I enter, I got the factorial value, right? I got the factorial value, but I got like everything I understand here, right? So 1, 2, 6, 24, 120, all values which I got it now. So instead of printing this, can I print outside of this, outside of the while loop? Let me go and execute this code. Okay, I'm giving again 5. Let's see this. See, the factorial of the 5 is 120. Very easiest way of doing it, right? So this is one way. So this is by using the while loop we can do it, but there is another way of also we can do this one. Okay, by using the for loop also we can do. So how can do that? So we can use the for, and you take same thing like I'm going to use here range. Okay, I in, and instead of I in, anyway it will be confused to you. I'm going to take j here. Okay, to avoid that one. Okay, for j in the range of, okay, I'm going to use 1 comma, whatever the enter value is n plus 1, I'm going to add here. Okay, n plus 1. So the range for j in the range of 1 comma n plus 1. Do you know why we are writing n plus 1? Because the range will always take the values from the 0 to n minus 1, right? That is the reason I am writing here 1 comma n plus 1. So then what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to write the same logic here. Logic is same whether you write Java, whether you write C or C++, or like you are using the for loop, while loop, or lambda functions, whatever it is. The logic is what here? The logic is line number 8, line number 14 should be same only. Okay, instead of I we can say it is a j, because yeah, we are using the j is the variable, right? So what is the actual logic of the factorial? Factorial is equal to factorial into I. This is the logic which we are using it here. Okay, after that I don't want to increment here. Basically range function by itself will increment the value, output will be printed. Okay, so what I'm going to do, right, I'm going to use now the print of fact. So if I'm going to use the fact, what will happen, right? The latest fact value will be taken. So I want to change this value. This is called fact2 and fact2, because I don't want to confuse with the previous value. So let me take this value is with the fact2 is equal to 1. Okay. So first one is the fact is equal to 1. It is a fact 2 is equal to 1, because this is with the while loop and this is with what I can say that the for loop. And let me take here j is equal to 1 is not required, because you know j is already there here in the range function. We can use this one, right? So what I'm going to do, right, let me go and execute one by one. We'll see this. So it is asking the value to be entered. I'm entering the 4. Now 4, 24, 24. See, both are giving the same output. Okay, we got the both are giving the same output. Output is displayed here. See, this also can be written by using the lambda functions. Okay, this is
Sorry to print to have mentioned fact instead of fact 2.
yeah, we can also do this. Yeah, you are right. So I'm giving here now 4. Yeah, both outputs are coming up. Yeah, thank you for that. So now both the values are printing, but here you need to look at the logic here. Tomorrow, whenever someone is asking you to write a factorial number, it should be always like this: fact is equal to fact into I, and the value should be incremented. So basically we write like this, right? So 1, 2, 3, the value is like 1 plus 2. So we can multiply here, not plus actually. Here star is there, 1 into 2 and 2 into 3 and 3 into 4, and like the output which comes into 5. So like that it will go 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. The value will be comes like this, right? So for that logic we are achieving like I should be incremental. When you are giving the range function, automatically it will increment, because the behavior of the range is like that. But when you use the while function, normally we use I is equal to I plus 1. That is the incremental area, how we actually do with the programming, right? So this is one of the example. So we can also do the same programming with the lambda functions. People simply write in one shortcut, they will finish it, right? So in the lambda functions also we can write, but when you are writing the lambda functions, we need to be little careful. That we can see in the next sessions. Okay, if I write, you'll confuse, because all the lambda functions, this problem 1 we can write in the lambda functions, problem 2 also we can write lambda functions. So mostly in the next sessions we'll focus on the lambda functions, how we can solve these problems. Okay, because that is a very shortcut way. In the single line we can finish it. Okay, let's go back to the problem. Question number 3: define a function that can receive two integer numbers in a string form and compute their sum and then print it in the console. It is a very easiest problem, right? So what they are saying that take any two integers, okay? and in the string form. We need to take integers into the string form and compute their sum and then print it into the console. Okay, if you take the even input function also, it will be like that only. Okay, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to write a simple code that can be understand very easily. So write here something called problem3.py. Okay. What I will do, right, I will take something called a function called def. How we can define the function in Python by using the def, right? Def print sum. Okay, so print sum. In the sum, I'm going to pass the values like string 1 and string 2, because that's what they are saying that. Okay, we need to take the two strings and add them, and final output should be in integer only, but not in the string. That's what they are saying this. Okay, so let me put the pass here for time being, and what values I'm going to pass this. So print sum. Print sum is the function. In the function, it is actually expecting the two parameters. Okay, that is a string 1 and string 2. Okay, it is expecting the two parameters, string 1 and string 2. I'm going to pass values. Okay, so what are the values I can pass here? String values only, because if you look at the problem statement, they are saying that can receive the two integer numbers in the string and to compute their sum. So what is the string form? String form I will write here. For example, we can take 45, okay, and 55. Okay, these are the two strings, but when you are giving to these values, string 1 and string 2 will be taken, but you need to convert these strings into the integer, then you can show the output. How we can do this one? So I'm going to take something called result is equal to the first string should be converted by using the int function. Okay, I'm using the int function. So int is like will convert the string into the integer. So we have some functions, right, in the Python. If we use the int function, it will convert str into the integer, right? If we use the str, okay, I'm going to use the str. Str can be converted into the integer also. Okay, if you want to convert an integer into the string, and we can use a string function. If you want to convert a string into the integer, use the int function. So this is all by default available in the Python itself. Okay, so I'm passing here string. String is nothing but in the double quotes, I mean in single quotes and double quotes we can represent in the Python. So when we got these two values, I'm going to convert into the integer plus another integer is called the string 2, right? This result I'm going to print of result. This result will be printed. So yeah, I'm going to execute this. We'll see that whether we'll get the output or not. Yeah, string 2, yeah, because actually the name of the string is strings I given. We can give the string 2 only. Let me, yeah, this is fine now. Let me clear the data. So I got the 100, right? So what is the type of this? If you want to check what is the type of this result, we are going to use the type function. Type is the function which is available in the Python. It will tell us like which type of the object it is. So let me check this, whether this is the correct value or not, right? It is an integer only, we got the output. So we are also confirming that. So whatever the output we got, that is an integer. Very straight away, right? So basically what they are asking, pass some strings, convert them into the by using the integer and print the output. That is what they are saying it. So define a function that can receive the two integer numbers in a string form and compute their sum and then print it in the console. So that's what we did here. Very straight away. Okay. Because this session I am taking very simple examples. Going forward, very difficult examples will come, because since it is a first session, right? Let me go with the very simple. Okay, now this is little tricky. Anyone can take the challenge. For example, here within the given integral number n, write a program to generate the dictionary that contains the I comma I into I, such that is an integral number between the 1 and n, and then the program should be print dictionary. So what we can do now? Okay, what is that they are asking? When you are going to print the dictionary, that should be, for example, if I write 1 is the key, that should be square. If I give the key is the 2, that should be square. If I give the key is 3, that should be square. 3 square is 9, right? Is that's something they are telling, right? I into I. I into I is nothing but I square, number square. So that can be done here like this. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, this can be achieved like this. So how we can do this one, this problem statement, we are going to use the dictionary concepts. Let's create something called problem statement, problem 4 dot py, right? So very simple problem, and but it's a little tricky when you get this kind of problems, how we can do it. Two ways we can do this one. Let's finish this one into the one way, then we'll move on to the second one. Okay, so I will ask user to give the input, so the based on the user only it will go. So n is equal to, I will take the print off, so enter the n value. So user will enter this value from the input from the console, and this should be converted into the integer because we are dealing with the integers here, because squaring and all can be done only in the integers. Okay, so what I will do, right, I will take something called answer. Answer should be in the dictionary, empty dictionary. I am going to define it. Okay, so let me take the for I in, and we can use the range function here. So this range is very important. Okay, whatever the user enter 1, and I'm going to take it into the n plus 1, right? So n plus 1, which I'm going to take, because that is what the values will be considered. So then answer is there, right? This answer is actually like we can take it as a like each and every key. This is nothing but a key now. It's not an index, it is a key. Answer is dictionary, empty dictionary. So what I'm doing, the dictionary of I, this is nothing but a key which I'm going to pass it here. Okay, then you can use I plus 1. So this is going to be increment, sorry, not I plus 1. The logic is I star I, right? So our logic is the I star I. So till the point in the line number 6 we got the I. That I we are actually squaring, like when it comes to the 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, 4 square, that value I will keep it here, right? That's how it works. Finally, I'm going to print by using the print statement, and we'll see this whether we'll get the output or not. Very simple logic. The problem looks like it's a bigger one, but what actually we are doing it, right? We are asking user to enter the number. It number can be anything. It can be 5 number, it can be 8 number or 10 number, anything. And but integral number between the 1 and n, both should be included. So we need to include the both. That's the reason we are going for the n plus 1. Otherwise, n is enough, right? So now answer of I into I is actually we are taking it is actually what. So when I'm going to look into this, I is what? Basically, it starts from the 1, right? Let me go and execute this code. What is the error? So we have the, yeah. So basically, this should be input function, right? Input function. We need to write. So I've written the actually print statement. So enter the value is 5. Now I got the 1 into 1, 2 square, 3 square, 4 square, 5 square. I got the output. Okay. Previously we got error is because of I given the print statement. It should be input, right? So input of the variable, whatever the text, enter the n value. That should be converted into the integer. That should be there in the n. This n is because they are asking us to include the both 1 and n plus 1. So n. So in the range, when if you're not given the plus 1, right? Let's see this. What is the output? Okay. So, let me give the same thing like 5. So what is missing here? 5 is missing, but they want including the 5. So that is the reason we are going with the plus 1. Otherwise, it will give an error, right? So it will not include the 5, not the error. It will not include the 5. So let me give 8. Why we need to give 6? 1 into 1, 2 square, 3 square, 4 square. All these values are squared, right? This is also one of the interview question that people are asking to write on the paper, right? So this is how we can solve it. Very simple way. Any other way we can do it? Yeah, there are a lot of ways we can do it. And one more simple way is like, let me take it the same input n is equal to, instead of saying this is called m, I will take into the different variable name. So what I will do, right, same here, answer 1. So this is a different answer, right? Or else answer 2, we can say that. So let me keep this everything into the one dictionary. That's called 2 parentheses, which I open, 2 curly braces. So here what I will do, right, instead of I will take the j. So j colon j star j. Okay, j star j. then we can use the comprehension. This is called dictionary comprehension, if you remember. So j in, and we can use the range of, then we can give the 1 comma n plus 1, same code only which I turned into the dictionary comprehension. So this is a simple code. The print of answer 2 will get the output, right? I'm going to execute this. Let me give here 5, and I got the value. So again, one more value I'm giving 5. So I got the same output, right? This is two ways we can do it. What is the second way we are done? We are taking the complete overall thing into this, into the dictionary. So what is the dictionary here? Dictionary we represent with the curl braces, right? So in the dictionary, first you take this entire for loop, okay? The same for loop, whatever in the line number 5, same for loop we are taking here for j in the range of I 1 comma n plus 1. Whatever the output comes here, that output should be like j colon j star j, like same way I star I. So logic is same because we are actually squaring them. So then print of answer 2, we got the this output, right? Not only this way, we can do n number of ways, same coding, but the logic is only one. Your logic is we are multiplying the j into another j, I into another I. So that is a logic, because they want squaring the same value. But how we are going to keep this one into this value? Like we are using the something called dictionary key and value. So one is key and another one is the value which got printed, right? So this concept is called a dictionary comprehension. The first one is using the for loop, and second one is the dictionary comprehension, which we use it, okay? And the last simple problem, okay, how to swap the two numbers in Python. The question comes, swapping the two numbers in the Python. So it is a very easiest way of doing it, just even not even going to take 1 minute. So let's finish this problem 5.py. Swapping the two numbers, okay, very simple, right? A is equal to 2, b is equal to 4, and if I'm going to print this a comma b, and I'll get the output is 2 comma 4, but I want to swap these values. How to do it? So I will do something like this. In Python is very get easy, right? So b comma a, right? So now I want to print again a comma b after this, right? Right? So let's see this, whether we got the output. It is easiest way of swapping, but we'll scratch our heads when the interviewer asking the question, right? And if you know Python, it is very good, but sometimes it is not going to strike your mind how to do it. So this is called tupling, and this is called like we are actually breaking the output, right? A comma b is equal to b comma a, okay? So this basically we are assigning like this. In Python we can assign like this. How many of you know it? I'm not sure. A comma b comma c comma d, and 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4. If I want to print these values, I can print a comma b comma c comma d. So each value will be assigned directly here, right? So we got a is equal to 1, b is equal to 2, c is equal to 3, 4 is d is equal to 4. This could be possible in the Python only, right? For example, if I remove one value, I'm trying to assign the d, it will throw an error because you are giving the 4 values. There is no space for the 3. There is no space for the d, which we got the error basically. Okay. So these are the few examples which we looked into it today because we just started today. So going forward, we are going to see very, very complicated problems and a lot of things. I just want you to guys share the feedback, what exactly you are looking for the live coding sessions, because I'm not taking any feedback from anyone. So I want you to tell me that what exactly you want.